Hello, dear viewers of ChadDays Drama Digest channel. Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the tumultuous waters of Salem, where emotions run high, secrets simmer beneath the surface, and every decision carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken promises. At the heart of this gripping narrative is Thomas, a young man caught in a web of family ties, romantic entanglements, and a burning desire for freedom. The question on everyone's lips: will Thomas really leave Salem with Jennifer and Jack, or will he stay, tethered to the chaos that defines his life? Let's unravel this electrifying drama, layer by layer, and explore the forces pulling Thomas in every direction. The fractured bonds of family. The story begins with a bombshell that shakes the very foundation of Thomas's world. In a quiet moment, as the sun sets over Salem's cobblestone streets, Thomas confides in his close friend Rachel, his voice trembling with a mix of relief and uncertainty. His father, Chad, has finally ended his tumultuous relationship with Kat, a woman whose presence has cast a long shadow over their family. For months, Kat's fiery personality and unrelenting grip on Chad's heart have been a source of tension, driving a wedge between father and son. Thomas, caught in the crossfire, has felt like a pawn in a game he never chose to play. Rachel, ever the confidant, listens intently, her eyes glinting with a mix of sympathy and scheming. She leans in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, and assures Thomas that this breakup is only the beginning. "All you need to do now," she says, her words dripping with confidence, "is make sure they stay broken up." Her tone carries the weight of someone who's navigated these treacherous waters before, and Thomas can't help but be drawn in by her certainty. Rachel, after all, is no stranger to meddling in her father's romantic affairs. With a sly smile, she recounts her past triumphs. How she meticulously orchestrated the downfall of Chloe and Ava, two women who dared to come between her and her father's undivided attention. "Chloe thought she could charm her way into Dad's life," Rachel says, her voice laced with disdain. "But I saw through her. A few well-placed rumors, a couple of accidental misunderstandings, and she was out the door. Ava was even easier, she couldn't handle the pressure." Rachel's stories are like dark fairy tales, each one a testament to her cunning and determination. She paints a vivid picture of whispered phone calls, carefully timed confrontations, and subtle manipulations that unraveled those relationships like a thread pulled from a sweater. For Rachel, these weren't just breakups, they were victories, each one bringing her closer to her father's side. As long as they're with Dad, she tells Thomas, her eyes locking onto his, "I can always come back to him." "And you can too." Thomas listens, his heart pounding. Rachel's words are a siren song, tempting him to take control of his own destiny. But beneath his resolve lies a flicker of doubt. Is he capable of such calculated moves? Can he really manipulate his father's life to secure his own freedom? The weight of Rachel's advice settles over him like a storm cloud, heavy with possibility and peril. A phone call that changes everything. The plot thickens as Thomas, still reeling from his conversation with Rachel, overhears a pivotal phone call between Chad and Kat. He's lingering in the hallway of their modest Salem home, the walls adorned with faded photographs of happier times, when Chad's voice cuts through the air. The conversation is heated, raw, and painfully honest. Chad's tone is a mix of resignation and relief as he speaks to Kat, his words carrying the finality of a man who's made up his mind. "It's over, Kat," he says, his voice steady but tinged with sorrow. "We can't keep doing this." Thomas's breath catches in his throat. This is the moment he's been waiting for, the confirmation that his father is finally free from Kat's influence. But what comes next catches him off guard. Chad, unaware of his son's presence, turns to Thomas and addresses him directly. "I know you've been talking about leaving, Thomas," he says, his eyes searching his son's face for a sign of reconciliation. "You said you wanted to live with your grandparents, and I get it. Things have been tough. But now that Kat's out of the picture, have you changed your mind? The question hangs in the air like a guillotine blade, sharp and unforgiving. Thomas feels the weight of his father's gaze, the unspoken plea for him to stay, to rebuild the fractured bond they once shared. But Thomas's heart is a battlefield, torn between loyalty to his father and the promise of a new life with Jennifer and Jack, his grandparents, who have offered him a fresh start far from Salem's chaos. The town, with its endless drama and tangled relationships, feels like a cage, and Thomas is desperate to break free. No, Thomas says, his voice firm but laced with a tremor of emotion. As long as Kat is in Salem, I won't be here. His words are a declaration, a line drawn in the sand. He knows Kat, with her stubborn resolve and deep ties to the town, will never leave Salem. Her presence is a constant reminder of the turmoil that has defined his life for too long. But even as he speaks, a flicker of doubt creeps in. Is he making the right choice? Can he really leave his father behind, knowing how much Chad is trying to mend their broken family? The pull of freedom versus the weight of loyalty. Thomas's decision is not a simple one. To understand the gravity of his choice, we must step back and explore the forces that have shaped his life in Salem. The town itself is a character in this drama, a place where secrets fester and every street corner holds a memory of love, loss, or betrayal. For Thomas, Salem is both home and prison, a place where he's grown up under the shadow of his father's tumultuous relationships. Chad, a man of charisma and flaws, has always been a magnetic figure, drawing people into his orbit only to leave them burned by his intensity. Kat was no exception, her fiery spirit clashing with Chad's in a relationship that was as passionate as it was destructive. Thomas, caught in the middle, has spent years navigating the fallout. He's watched his father cycle through partners, each one leaving a mark on their family. Kat, with her sharp wit and unrelenting presence, was the most disruptive yet. Her influence over Chad seemed to eclipse everything else, leaving Thomas feeling like an afterthought. It's no wonder he's drawn to the idea of leaving with Jennifer and Jack, who offer stability, love, and a chance to escape the chaos of Salem. Jennifer, with her warm smile and endless patience, has always been a beacon of hope for Thomas, while Jack, gruff but kind-hearted, represents the kind of steady presence Thomas craves. But the pull of family is strong, and Chad's recent decision to end things with Kat has thrown Thomas's plans into disarray. For the first time in years, there's a glimmer of hope that father and son could rebuild what they've lost. Chad's plea for Thomas to reconsider is not just a request, it's a lifeline, a chance to heal old wounds. Yet Thomas can't shake the fear that Kat's presence in Salem will always loom large, threatening to pull Chad back into her orbit. The town is too small, the memories too raw, for Thomas to believe that Kat will ever truly be gone. Rachel's dangerous influence. Enter Rachel, the wild card in this drama. Her stories of manipulating her father's relationships have planted a seed in Thomas's mind, one that grows with every passing moment. Rachel is a master of chaos, a puppeteer who thrives on pulling strings from the shadows. Her advice to Thomas is both a gift and a curse, offering him a path to control his father's life, but at the cost of his own moral compass. As Thomas grapples with his decision, he can't help but wonder, could he really follow in Rachel's footsteps? Could he orchestrate a breakup so definitive that Kat would have no choice but to leave Salem for good? The idea is intoxicating, but it comes with risks. Rachel's methods are ruthless, whispered lies, staged confrontations, and carefully crafted misunderstandings. Thomas has always prided himself on his honesty, his desire to do right by those he loves. But the allure of a life free from Kat's shadow is hard to resist. He imagines a future where he and Chad can start anew, where the ghosts of past relationships no longer haunt them. Yet the thought of manipulating his father, of stooping to Rachel's level, fills him with unease. What kind of person would he become if he followed her lead? The clock is ticking. As the days pass, the tension in Salem reaches a fever pitch. Thomas's grandparents, Jennifer and Jack, are preparing to leave town, their offer to take Thomas with them hanging in the balance. They've made it clear that their door is open, but they won't wait forever. The clock is ticking, and Thomas must decide. Will he stay in Salem, hoping that Chad can keep Cat at bay, or will he take a leap of faith and leave with his grandparents, chasing a life free from the town's relentless drama? The town itself seems to pulse with anticipation, as if it knows the weight of Thomas's decision. Friends and neighbors whisper about the rift between father and son, speculating about what Thomas will do. Some see his potential departure as an act of betrayal, rejection of the family he's fought so hard to hold together. Others view it as an act of courage, a young man choosing his own path in a world that's tried to define him. A crossroads of heart and soul. Thomas's story is one of heartbreak, hope, and the search for identity in a world that feels both too big and too small. His decision, whether to stay or to leave, will ripple through Salem, affecting not just his own life, but the lives of those around him. Will he heed Rachel's advice, taking matters into his own hands to ensure Kat's influence is gone for good? Or will he trust in his father's newfound resolve, betting on the chance that they can rebuild their fractured family? And what if Jennifer and Jack, who represent a lifeline but also a departure from everything Thomas has ever known? As we await the next chapter in this gripping saga, one thing is clear: Thomas's choice will define him. It's a decision that will test his loyalty, his courage, and his understanding of what it means to be a family. Will he stay in Salem, fighting for a future with his father, or will he walk away, embracing the unknown with Jennifer and Jack? The answer lies just beyond the horizon, hidden in the shadows of Salem's winding streets. Dear viewers, what do you think Thomas will do? Will he follow Rachel's cunning playbook, or will he forge his own path? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join us next time on TV Days Drama Digest as we continue to unravel the heart-pounding drama of Salem. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.